A line is being drawn not on a map but through the human soul. That line is dated July 10, 2025. This is not a prediction to entertain the curious or frighten the unprepared. It is a cosmic appointment. It's the moment the universe will ask a single, silent question: are you anchored or are you adrift? When the divine source declared, on July 10 all will be measured, it wasn't a threat. It was a statement of spiritual physics, a truth revealed only to those who have learned to listen beneath the surface noise of life. Your world is a factory of distraction. It manufactures endless reasons to look outward, for approval, for validation, for the next fleeting high. It pulls your focus away from the only place where true power is forged within. So many are chasing echoes. They look for thunderous signs, for dramatic proof, for a sky that cracks open. But the divine does not operate like a stage magician. The most profound shifts are often preceded by an almost imperceptible change in pressure, a stillness that only the attuned can feel. This pre-storm quiet is not an empty pause, it is a final invitation. But an invitation is meaningless if you can't read the language it's written in. It is not read with the eyes, but with the entire being. To sense it, you must first become quiet yourself, clearing out the clutter of opinion, expectation, and fear. The reason the majority will miss the meaning of July 10 is that they are tuned to the wrong frequency. They are desperately trying to broadcast their desires to the universe, instead of calibrating their receivers to hear the universe's broadcast. You see, a mind full of its own answers has no room for truth. A heart full of its own agenda cannot receive a divine plan. This is why the great traditions, the mystics, the masters, the stoics, all train in inner silence. They know that truth isn't something you grab, it's something you allow to enter an empty space. A sacred preparation is unfolding in the quiet, just as an archer prepares not in the moment of release, but in the long, silent drawing of the bow. Your soul must prepare in stillness for its moment of flight. Many imagine that transformation is an explosion, but true soul-altering change is a quiet buildup of pressure. It begins long before any external event. It begins when you start choosing presence over distraction, integrity over convenience, inner alignment over outer approval. These are not small random choices. They are the methodical tightening of your anchor chain, a sign that your spirit is preparing for the coming tide. And what is this tide? It is the inevitable current of truth, the voice that whispers, ground yourself, purify your vessel, align your will. The whisper is not a shout because force is for the desperate, quiet power is for the prepared. When a master swordsman trains, he doesn't seek an audience. He trains in solitude for a test he knows is inevitable. The same is true for you. You are being prepared for an energetic upgrade. This upgrade will not make newspaper headlines. It will not ask for your vote. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will simply manifest. And when it does, it will not reward the loudest or the wealthiest. It will elevate the most stable. Think of a deep-sea diver. His survival depends not on the ocean but on his preparation. He checks his equipment, controls his breathing, and respects the pressure. People on the shore only see him disappear and then re-emerge. They don't see the silent, disciplined process that made his journey possible. The same is true for the soul. When July 10 arrives, some will look around and see others rising with an unshakable calm and purpose, while they themselves are cast into a sea of chaos and anxiety. The difference is simple: those who felt the change in pressure were already prepared for the depths. They didn't need a storm to convince them to become solid. Their solidity was their way of life. The world demands proof before it will trust. But the spiritual journey is the opposite. It demands trust before it will offer proof. If you are forever waiting for a sign, you will miss the chance to become one. The divine does not send you a message so you can analyze it. It sends a message so you can embody it, so you can act, so you can shed the layers of who you are not, the false identities, the draining attachments, the borrowed goals. The quiet before the shift is an act of grace. It's the chance to secure your anchor before the storm makes it impossible. You don't need the heavens to fall to start believing. You only need to feel the undeniable pull in your own soul and have the courage to follow it. This is why stillness is your most powerful tool. Not because it is passive, but because in that quiet, you can finally hear the instructions that are drowned out by the noise of the world. There are truths that only a settled spirit can download. And so you must train. Not in how to argue your case, but in how deeply you can listen to your inner compass. You have to ask yourself, when life pushes you, do you collapse or do you ground? When anxiety surfaces, do you distract yourself or do you breathe into your center? When the herd stampedes in one direction, do you follow blindly or do you stand still and consult your own truth? Those who have heard the quiet call understand that life isn't about reacting from a place of fear, it's about responding from a place of power. But you cannot respond with power if you haven't first cultivated it in silence. Many live their lives on autopilot in a state of constant reaction. Their moods are dictated by headlines. Their decisions are driven by fear. Their energy is given away to trivialities, and when the real test comes, they will be utterly overwhelmed. They will cry out, "Why didn't God warn me?" But the truth is, the divine did warn them. It spoke in the language of stillness, and they were too busy listening to the static to hear the signal. Discipline is the art of building your inner anchor. It is not self-punishment, it is self-respect. The reason a warrior maintains his stance is not because he is expecting a fight, but because readiness is his default state. If you wait until the world is in chaos to find your inner peace, you have already lost. Your preparation is happening right now in the thoughts you choose to entertain, in the words you refuse to speak, in the time you guard for stillness. These are not minor details, they are the forging of the anchor that will hold you steady. When the great wave of change arrives, only the ships with anchors will remain. The quiet before the shift also reveals your humility. Many believe they are prepared because they have accumulated spiritual knowledge, but knowledge without embodiment is just a more sophisticated form of ego. You may be able to quote the masters, but do you live by their principles? You may talk about light, but do you act with integrity in the dark? The invitation is not being sent to your intellect, it is being sent to your core. And your core can only hold the energy that it is humble enough to receive. You must release the addiction to being seen, the need to be right, the hunger for validation. All of this is noise, and noise corrupts the signal. When July 10 arrives, the veil will thin, but for those who have trained in stillness, it will not be a shock. It will not be a crisis. It will be a simple continuation of their path. Why? Because their navigation system is internal, not external. Their strength comes not from knowing the future, but from mastering their present. Their peace comes not from a lack of storms, but from the presence of their anchor. And this has always been the point. Purpose. The divine calls you not for a spectacle, but for a promotion. But you cannot be promoted if you are still clinging to your old job description. Many are praying for transformation while gripping tightly to the familiar. They want to fly but refuse to let go of the branch. You cannot rise while holding on to what is heavy. The quiet call is an invitation to release the blame, the grudges, the old stories, the victimhood. Only then will you be light enough to be lifted. So listen with your whole being, not just your ears. See with your inner awareness, not just your eyes. Walk by alignment, not by sight. If you feel that inner knowing, that deep sense that the ground rules are changing, that a great revelation is near, do not dismiss it, do not sedate it. Begin your true work now. Return to your breath, return to your center, return to your discipline. The quiet before the storm is not something you find, it is something you become. And those who become it will not be broken by the wave, they will ride it because they are already one with a greater current, the current of divine will. True readiness is not born when danger appears on the horizon. It is forged when the soul first senses the shift in the wind. What the distracted eye will never see, the disciplined spirit has already felt. There is a vast difference between reacting to events and being aligned with energy. A person in reaction is always one step behind, perpetually scrambling for footing, shocked when the inevitable arrives. But a person in alignment is never truly surprised. They may not know the exact form the change will take, but their intuition, their inner state, their very cells have already received the memo. That low-grade hum of restlessness you've been feeling, that sense that business as usual is over, that is not just your mind, that is your soul's early warning system. It's whispering, the time for practice is over, it's time to be. What happens on July 10, 2025 is not a random cataclysm, it is a reckoning. It is the point where cause and effect converge on a planetary scale. It's the moment when all the stored energy, of choices, of intentions, of actions and inactions, comes due. The world may see it as a sudden event, but the wise know it is the culmination of a long cycle. The laws of energy are absolute. Every vibration you have sent out has been recorded. The universe is a perfect accountant, and on sacred turning points the books are balanced, not as a reward or punishment, but as a simple return on investment. What you have invested in, you will become. What you have practiced, you will be. What you have built within, you will inhabit. Preparation is a way of being, not a single act. The souls who stand firm on July 10 will not be those who have a last-minute spiritual awakening. They will be the ones who have been walking the quiet, unglamorous path of inner work for years. The ones who chose compassion when they could have chosen judgment. The ones who practiced discipline when no one was checking. The ones who held onto their inner light when the world offered them every reason to extinguish it. These are the souls who prepared, not out of fear of an event, but out of love for the truth. They knew that when the ground shakes, you must already be grounded. You cannot learn to build an anchor in the middle of a hurricane. The anchor must already be set. And how do you prepare? Not by accumulating more, but by becoming lighter. Not by building higher walls around your life, but by dissolving the walls around your heart. Many are running the race of the material world. They collect status, followers, possessions. But what is the intrinsic value of these things? When the frequency of the planet shifts upward, what good are your trophies if your own soul is too heavy to rise with it? You cannot negotiate with spiritual law. When the energetic tide comes in, only the buoyant will float. You must let go. Let go of the bitterness. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the wounds you keep replaying. This is the work. This is the true preparation. Because when the energetic curtain is pulled back, and it will be, everything that is hidden will be illuminated. You cannot fake serenity. You cannot fake integrity. You cannot fake alignment. On that day, your energetic signature will be your only credential. The world is a creature of reaction. It reacts to drama, to crisis, to fear. But the prepared spirit does not react, it responds. The spirit understands that divine timing is not governed by a clock, but by readiness. When God said things will change, He was not talking about your calendar, He was talking about your capacity. There are seasons in your evolution you do not choose, they choose you. And this season that is approaching is not for the dreamer, it is for the doer. It is not for the mind that analyzes, it is for the soul that embodies. You must look at yourself with radical honesty. Am I still justifying my weaknesses? Am I still waiting for a perfect moment? Am I still negotiating with my own evolution? The time for debate is over. The time for being is now. Preparation will look different for each person. For some, it is the final commitment to stillness over noise. For others, it is the courage to face a trauma they have buried for decades. For some, it is cutting energetic cords to people and situations that drain their life force. For others, it is the profound act of forgiving the unforgivable, starting with themselves. These are not small adjustments, they are internal revolutions. They are the actions that build an inner reality so strong that it becomes your refuge when the outer world shakes, and it will shake. Not to punish you, but to reveal you, to strip away everything that isn't real. When that happens, you will see two kinds of people: those who are terrified of what is being revealed, and those who have been training to be real all along. When a diamond is put under pressure, it doesn't complain, it reveals its brilliance. It trusts the process that forged it. Your preparation has been happening in the dark, in the quiet, under pressure. Maybe you couldn't articulate why you felt so different lately, why your priorities have shifted, why you no longer have tolerance for meaningless drama or superficial connections. This is not a social phase, this is a spiritual recalibration. It is the deepest part of you responding to an incoming frequency. It is as if your soul is already equalizing the pressure for a journey your mind does not yet comprehend. That is fine. Let the soul lead. The mind is a follower, not a guide. Many will attempt a last-minute crash course in spirituality. They will binge-watch gurus, frantically meditate, and try to force a state of peace. But you cannot cram for the final exam of the soul. You cannot microwave enlightenment. You cannot fast-track integrity. These are qualities forged in the fires of daily, consistent choice. And if you are already on this path, even if you stumble, even if you feel imperfect, know this: you are moving with the current, not against it. Keep walking, keep choosing, keep aligning, because the new energetic reality cannot be sustained by the old consciousness. The shift does not care about your potential, it is only concerned with your actuality, and your actuality is either aligned or it is not. The preparation is the act of closing that gap. Every warrior hones their skills long before they are needed, not from fear, but from a deep sense of honor. The spiritual warrior doesn't wait for a crisis to get serious. They are always serious, not because they anticipate war, but because inner peace is a state of profound strength. On July 10, this fusion of peace and strength will be the only currency that matters. Those with no inner peace will be shattered by the intensity. Those with no inner strength will be swept away by the velocity of change. So you must train now. Train your mind to find the point of stillness. Train your heart to respond with compassion. Train your body to be a vessel of clean energy. Train your spirit to trust the process even without proof. Abandon the illusion that you have unlimited time. Time is a construct. Presence is your reality. And in presence, you have all the power you need. Your future is not waiting for your wish, it is waiting for your choice. You don't have to be a perfect master, you just have to be a present student. And from that presence, you build the habits that fortify your soul, build the boundaries that protect your energy, build the inner sanctuary that no outer storm can breach. These are the foundations you will stand upon when the great shift occurs. And what about those who dismiss the call, who laugh at the notion of a shift, who insist it's just another day? They are the ones who will experience the greatest shock, not because they were not loved or warned, but because they chose to keep their eyes closed. Denial is not a shield against reality. It is merely a postponement of awareness. And when reality asserts itself, it doesn't care if you're ready, it simply is. If you have done the work, you will see it as a liberation. If you have not, you will see it as a judgment. This is not a verdict from on high, it is the natural consequence of your own resonance. So prepare, not with anxiety, but with reverence. Prepare not because the world is ending, but because a new world is being born through you. Prepare not for the chaos outside, but for the expansion within. There is a grace that meets you when you are truly ready. There is a power that flows through you when you are truly aligned. There is a peace that becomes you when you truly surrender. And this peace is not found in the headlines, it is forged in your practice, in your breath, in your integrity, in your silence. Do not search the external world for a sign of safety. Your safety is not a place, it is a state of being. It is in how you navigate turbulence. It is in the kindness you show when no one is looking. It is in the hard choices you make when it would be so much easier to stay asleep. Every disciplined thought today builds your resilience for tomorrow. Every moment you choose alignment over ego prepares you for the coming energetic tide. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to your own divinity. There are two ways to face July HENG: as a victim of circumstance or as a co-creator of reality. The first path leads to fear, the second leads to freedom, and that freedom doesn't come from knowing what will happen. It comes from having built an inner world that is ready for anything. The energy of that day is already on its way. The wave is building. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but your soul feels it. Honor that feeling. Don't suppress it. Don't run from it. Let it be the fuel for your transformation. Let it guide you to your inner training ground. Let it be the sacred reminder. The work you do in silence is never ever lost. It is your investment, it is your anchor, it is your strength. And when the world begins to tremble, you will stand firm, not because you were lucky, but because you were not waiting for the storm to begin your work. You were not reacting, you were ready. You were not looking for a safe harbor, you were the safe harbor. There's a fundamental error in how the modern mind approaches true change. Many think that desire is the engine, that if you want something badly enough, if you visualize it, affirm it, declare it, that the universe is somehow obligated to deliver it. But sacred law doesn't respond to want, it responds to resonance. Energy doesn't follow your wishes, it follows your frequency. When the divine declared a shift on July 10, 2025, it wasn't a call to those who hope for change, it was a signal for those who have become change, in their thoughts, their words, and their daily, unseen actions. The great mistake is to confuse clarity of intention with readiness of being. But the universe, the source, the great field of consciousness, it doesn't listen to the words you say, it reads the vibration you are. You can declare you want peace while your inner world is a battlefield. You can say you want wealth while your energy is rooted in lack. You can claim you're ready for love while your heart is armored against it. This is the great disconnect. This is why the divine signal is only truly received by those whose entire system, their habits, their inner talk, their core beliefs, has been tuned to a single, coherent frequency. That frequency isn't achieved by thinking. It is achieved through alignment. Alignment is not a performance. It is not an attempt to act spiritual. It has nothing to do with the rituals you display for an audience. True alignment is invisible to the world, but is the only thing the universe sees. You cannot negotiate with resonance. You are either a vibrational match for the truth you seek, or you are not. And when that energetic gateway opens on July 10, 2025, it will not ask what you plan to become, it will simply amplify what you already are. This is the ultimate spiritual law. Energy amplifies being, not intention. Your energetic signature is the key. The quality of your inner state is the only metric. This is why the real work is not about talking more, but about being more. If you claim to want truth but constantly engage in self-deception, you are misaligned. If you say you are ready for a higher consciousness, but you marinate in gossip and judgment, you are misaligned. If you profess to be a channel of light but your actions are driven by ego, you are misaligned. These are not minor character flaws, they are fractures in your energetic structure. And when a flood of high-frequency energy pours onto the planet, it searches for coherence. It flows through those who are whole. It elevates those who are honest, not flawless, but relentlessly honest with themselves. The world may applaud the ambitious, the charming, the well-marketed, but the divine promotes the sincere, the integrated, the quietly consistent. A sacred formula is always at play. Your thoughts, plus your words, plus your actions, equals your reality. If your thoughts say, I am powerful, but your words are full of complaint and your actions are timid, your reality is powerlessness. If your thoughts say, I am ready for peace, but your words are argumentative and your actions are defensive, your reality is conflict. And no matter how loud your affirmations, no matter how elegant your vision board, if your being is fragmented, your frequency will be out of tune with the incoming wave. And a frequency that cannot match the current gets left in the turbulence. The planet is not just shifting its politics, it is shifting its physics. The coming changes are not designed to benefit the cleverest ego, they will benefit the clearest vessel. This is why many who seem outwardly successful will find themselves shattered, while those who have been silently cleaning their inner house will rise with an effortless grace. There is a velocity to divine energy that only a still heart can withstand. There is a clarity so potent that only a humble spirit can integrate it. And on July 10, when this energy peaks, your level of alignment will not be a choice you make, it will be a truth that is revealed through you. For many, this will feel like unbearable pressure. It will feel like an exposure, because when the vibration of pure truth rises, everything built on a lie is shaken to its foundation. This is the great test, and it is not graded on a curve. It will not ask how many spiritual books you owned, it will ask, did you live the wisdom inside them? It will not ask how many followers you had, it will ask, were you a follower of your own soul's integrity when no one was watching? It will not ask how loud you prayed, it will ask, how quiet was your mind to receive the answer? Alignment is silent, but its impact is absolute. There are three pillars that forge this alignment: radical integrity, joyful discipline, and courageous surrender. Integrity means your inner and outer worlds match. You honor your word, especially to yourself. You say no to things that feel wrong in your soul, even if they offer external rewards. Discipline means you are the master of your energy, not its slave. You choose your focus. You train your emotions to be wise servants, not chaotic tyrants. You do the work that nourishes your spirit, not just what pleases your senses. And surrender means you let go of the need to control the outcome, not from defeat, but from profound trust. You stop trying to force life to fit your timeline. You align with the divine current and trust where it is taking you, even when your mind cannot see the destination. Most people try to muscle their way through life. They hustle, they strive, they force. But force creates resistance, alignment creates release. Your job is to become a clear channel. You must remove the blockages, the ego's pride, the heart's old pains, the mind's endless comparisons. These things create static in your field. And when the frequency of the world is upgraded, a field full of static will short circuit. But when you are aligned, you become like a crystal, hollow of self, pure in structure, ready to receive and amplify the light. A sacred choreography is unfolding, and just as a flower knows its season to bloom, so does a soul. But you cannot force the bloom, you can only tend to the roots. Your roots are your daily discipline. Your roots are your moments of silence. Your roots are the choices you make when you think no one is scoring you. What you do in the unseen world determines your stability in the seen world. And on July 10, the light will not just illuminate the world, it will pass through you, either as a brilliant beam or it will stop, revealing your opaqueness. There is no in-between. Energy does not negotiate with partial truths. It flows through coherence or it collides with distortion. This is why this moment, this very breath, is the only training ground you have. Not later, not when you get it together. Now, because the law is unchanging, you will rise to the level of your being, not your wanting. You will receive in proportion to your readiness, not your requests. And you will be known not by what you claimed, but by who you became. You must ask the final question. Have I become a vessel that can hold this new light, this new responsibility, this new earth? Or am I still hoping the world will save me while I refuse to save myself? You are not waiting for the energy is waiting for you. The divine river is already flowing. The only question is, are you a container that can hold it? Or are you a leaky bucket, losing your power through scattered focus, unconscious complaints and emotional reactions? Your capacity to hold divine energy is your spiritual maturity. And spiritual maturity has nothing to do with age, it has to do with accountability, with choosing your own evolution over your own excuses, again and again, especially when it is hard. On July 10, the divine heartbeat will quicken. Some will rise because their inner structure is resonant, others will crumble because their foundation was a fantasy. You must build your temple now, not with words, but with actions, not with theories, but with breaths. You must polish the lens of your perception. You must clear the chambers of your heart. You must open the gates of your being to allow truth to enter, because sacred energy does not force its way into chaos, it flows gracefully into order. Not the order of rigid control, but the sacred order of alignment. This alignment requires a brutal and loving honesty. You must look at every corner of your life and ask, where am I out of tune? Where am I still performing? Where am I choosing comfort over my own soul's calling? The answers may sting, but they are the medicine that will heal you. You cannot align with a truth you are unwilling to face. But when you do, when you see yourself with unflinching clarity and still choose love, love enough to change, the universe rushes to meet you. Not because it's rewarding you, but because you have finally tuned your instrument to its orchestra. And this is the ultimate secret. Alignment is not a destination you arrive at, it is a state you return to, moment by moment. Each breath is a chance to return home. Each choice is a chance to retune. Each moment is an opportunity to be the person you were born to be. You don't tune a guitar once and expect it to stay in tune forever. You tend to it daily with care, with presence. Your life is that instrument. The music you are here to play depends entirely on your tuning. When the sacred day comes, the world will not transform you, it will reveal you. The flood of energy will not create your character, it will magnify it. And so the most essential work you will ever do is not to hope, not to worry, but to align. Not for a future event, but for the truth of this present moment. Not to impress the world, but to express your soul. Because in the end, it will not be your opinions that see you through the shift, it will be your presence. It will not be your desires, it will be your discipline. It will be your silence. It will be your anchor. It will be your alignment.